In this video, I'm going to talk about do the rich pay less taxes and the number one myth on the internet. So the short answer is yes, but I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain the differences of the kinds of income. Money is just not money. There's qualities of money and why it is taxed differently and why the number one myth on the internet, why it exists, and I'm going to explain that towards the end of the video. So yes, the answer is yes. Rich people pay less taxes in proportion to their income. So let's put some qualifiers. So let's just debunk that right away. The internet says rich don't pay taxes. That's not true. They do pay tax. How they pay tax and through their structure is how they pay tax differently. They just don't have a 1040EZ and then they file away on April 15th. So let's have that conversation. The rich don't file tax on April 15th. And you guess what? You don't have to file on April 15th either. You do an extension, September and October. See, here's the big myth about most people. They can't wait for their tax return. Oh my gosh. And in fact, there's companies that will give you loans. If you can calculate that you're going to get $2,300 back in January because you get a tax return and you can't wait to get the money back, our question to you would be, why the heck did you pay it in the first place? You're overpaying taxes because you don't understand money and you don't understand taxes and how it all links together. I'm going to say the additional way that the rich pay less taxes is because we're more educated. So this is the channel. This is why I need you to subscribe. I need you to like it, comment as I irritate the heck out of you. I love that because I'll respond to you all the time because I'm going to poke at a lot of things you don't know. So instead of getting irritated about me, just say, you know what? This woman knows a few things. Maybe I should lean in and learn a few things. So let's begin. So money comes in different qualities. The worst kind of money that you can make is a job. Right? It's W-2 income. In America, if you're listening from other parts of the world, it's the job. It's where you're working for somebody, the taxes are taken out, any sort of benefits are taken out, Social Security is taken out, RSP in Canada is taken out, and then you get paid, right? So you make it, it's taxed, then you get what's left. When you have a company, which is what rich people do, which by the way, you don't have to be rich to open a company, right? I have football players, I have student athletes all over this country opening up LLCs or S Corps in their state and starting a business in college. Why? Because it's a better way to make money. So I'm not saying for you employees to go run out and quit your job, but I am saying you do need an entity. You need an LLC. And I'm speaking in US terms. These are the same structures around the world, and I have teams around the world. So you can put in the comments, hey, I want an entity, I want some tax help. I'm in Canada, I'm in Australia, I'm in New Zealand, I'm in Dubai, wherever you're from, and we'll help you. So back to the kinds of money. As your company makes money, I don't care which country it is, your company makes the money. Here's an easy way to think about it. Companies make money, individuals get taxed. So don't make money as an individual, make money as a company. Your company then gets all these deductions. As why America's preferred than any other country in the world is we have 81,000 pages of tax code. And that's varying, depending on their voting or for new laws or doing reform or any of that. But in general, there's over 80,000 pages of tax code, not items, pages. You can imagine the tax code is enormous. So most CPAs and accountants that are just clicking through doing a whole bunch of 1040EZs, or you use an H&R Block or TurboTax, rich people don't do that either. They don't do our own taxes. We have experts do our taxes, which is also why we pay less tax because they know the code. They actually know that in a company, you make money and then you get all these deductions. So like we don't go on vacation, we go on business trips. I'll teach you how to do that. Right, where it's appropriate. We actually get a write-off a home office. We get a write-off part of our vehicle. We get a write-off part of our wardrobe. We get a write-off meals, entertainment. There's 80-some thousand pages. I could tell you stories after stories after stories of really understanding that kind of money. So it's corporate money, not individual money. Now, again, did I say quit your job? No, I'm employed. I have a small little paycheck that comes out of one of my companies and pays me. Right, that's what your company will do. So your company makes money, right? And then you get to do the deductions, which causes you to pay less tax. Now, let's say you're growing up in this conversation because you've subscribed and you're watching me every day. Now you have another LLC because that's going to buy real estate. Maybe you have another LLC because you went out and partnered with some people in town and bought a company in town, a restaurant, a hair salon, auto body shop, somewhere in town that, COVID's going to hit them. They need an investor, so be their investor. My point is over time, you're going to have several entities and yourself. Now, there's huge benefits. Number one, why does the rich also have access to more money? because we have companies that have corporate credit, and those companies apply and qualify for more money. If you're just out there walking around as an individual, you don't qualify for much. It's only you and your social security number. So yes, we want to expand your life. If you're back there, I gotta speak to this little thinking going, oh my gosh, this is a lot. My whole life will become complicated. No, there's systems and team to put all this in place. Anyone wealthy lives in this lifestyle. It's not even a thing that I'm, a program I'm teaching you. It's a lifestyle. You live corporate life, and then you're going to teach your kids to live corporate life. And it's a way that you live around the company money, the deductions, you could have other employees. I don't have a lot of employees. I have other companies working with my company. I do company to company relationships. Helps them, helps me. Much more advantageous to them as well. So that's the one kind of income. Now let's go to the investing side of also why the wealthy pay less taxes. Darn near every one of them that I know has a Roth IRA. So the growth of their stock or their real estate or their digital currency, whatever they're investing, it's in a Roth IRA, grows tax-free, tax-deferred. Do you have one? If you don't, you're missing a huge opportunity. It doesn't mean that you can't go get one. You can get one too. The question is, how much do you want to pay less tax? How much do you want to learn and engage in this kind of a lifestyle? It's available to everyone. That's the good news. My question to you is, why aren't you doing more? Because you don't know. That's why we're here. So other kinds of income, there's capital gains income, but the benefit of real estate is that you can avoid that big tax when you sell a property by doing what's called a 1031 exchange, another kind of income and moving your income. So again, lots of strategies that the wealth employ into their life and have a strategy, have a plan. My goal for you is to help you get a strategy, get a plan, and start employing and putting some of these strategies to work for you. So it's not that the rich just get richer and the poor get poorer. It's the rich just get educated. And they use the system to their advantage versus whine and cry about it. So another topic is good debt and bad debt. So a lot of times if you aren't very wealthy and you think that you're overpaying taxes and you're the people listening and doing that, it's because you weren't taught about debt. So debt's just the cost of money, simply said. So rich people use debt, use other people's money, right? Paying small amounts of interest. Right now, there's so much money available that you can get for really low interest. From the government alone, you can get 0% for 2.5 years. Last I checked, that's free. So your company can apply through a P&L and a balance sheet and a business plan to get money. And right now, because of COVID, you can get a lot of money free. Then you use that money, and I have clients that have accumulated hundreds of thousands of dollars of that money. They're using that to grow their companies right now. And because they're growing their companies, they also then totally take advantage of the tax strategies and pay taxes in September and October. So we're paying at the last minute for the year before. So here we are, summer of 2021, as you're watching this. And it's just coming into September and October where all of our wealthy clients will start paying and getting prepared for their taxes. And they'll pay what they owe. Different than, I can't wait for my tax return. You shouldn't have paid so much in the beginning. But you were only employed, and that's the way that system's designed. So this isn't about the rich and the poor and the haves and the have-not. This is about education. This is about learning, understanding the strategy that you want and have for your life, how to use good debt. Good debt is available everywhere. So here, I'll give you one example of how a lot of my students are using, say, $100,000, that pretty much if you have okay or better good credit can get $100,000. 0% money. There's a little cost to get it, but the interest rate's free. So you can go buy a piece of property, right? Take that 100, buy a piece of property. Depending on what markets you are, you can buy 40, 50, 100,000. I have people buying land with that, right? Someone just bought 5 lots, 18,000 each, and they're going to wait a little bit in the market, and their goal is to sell them for 30,000, right? They're going to make 10, 12,000 per lot. You can actually buy a piece of property, use the 100 for rehab money, right? Spend it. You can pay contractors that way. You can buy materials that way. And then when the property sells, pay off the note and go again. I have amazing students who are using, like they're doing a flip every quarter. So they're using that money 4 times and they're getting all the profit. So I want to teach good debt, bad debt, how to be a bank, how to use money properly. My whole goal is how to do that. And do rich pay less taxes? Yeah, because they have more strategy and they have more going on than you do, but you can as well. And the biggest myth is that the rich don't pay. That's not true. They do pay. They just pay less because they, I have to say, are smarter. There you go. So I want to wrap up by giving you an enormous report. Can't believe we're giving it to you because we usually typically give it to only like our millionaire clients. So I had a team put together a tax and an entity report. which is exactly what you are looking for. You say, well, I just want like a really, brief but thorough shortcut. How do I use entities to pay less taxes and do what Loral talks about? And specifically, what part of the tax code has been modified since we did have an adjustment just recently. So this is an awesome report. I want you to click on the link in the description, go get the report, thoroughly read it. Here's my big challenge. Take it to your accountant, if you have one, and see what they say. Ask them if they're using all these strategies. If they're not, run back over here and comment and say, oh my gosh, my guy's not using this or my girl's not using this. I need your team. And put that in the comments, request our team. Our team will be right there calling you and helping you out. You can put all these strategies in your life. You don't have to be rich to do these strategies.